Yeah, so Season 1, Episode 5 of Unhinged. First off, thank you, Travis, for inviting me in your humble
Absolutely.
abode. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I'm excited to do this interview. You are the first on my list, and for
Well, I
many
appreciate that.
reasons. But for you guys that don't know, I had a chance to work and personally know Travis. He is an entrepreneur. He's the standing the bar for professionalism. Just an overall great guy. I would call him a genius or tech guy, however you want to look at it. Just he's extremely handy and just a great person to have in your corner as a friend. Not to mention as a business owner. And so this is going to be a good episode. We're going to get into stuff that has nothing to do with that. I just want to get a chance to, give you a chance to say something to the audience about who you are. Maybe introduce yourself.
Yeah.
The way that you would like to.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate it. And thanks again for coming to my place and being flexible and having this conversation. So, my name is Travis. I am here residing in Columbus. As Dewan mentioned, entrepreneur, working a professional job outside of that. So, just enjoying life here downtown, grinding and trying to build something, right? So, multiple businesses, just, I always felt like, wanting to go on that business owner route was always the best idea. And this just made sense. So I'm not going to get too much into that.
No, you're good, man. You're good. I mean, we have a beautiful sign, just Long Talk Entertainment, and Travis has kind of dipped his hands into photography, videography, DJing. There's not a question I haven't ran about him about setting up my studio. So it's just like I trust his insights on that. But I wanted to dive in particularly. Just your journey of transformation that you're going through right now.
Yeah.
And you're 12 days into your rucking transformation journey.
Absolutely.
I know that you're waiting for 30 days of consistency to start maybe dropping some footage, just kind of how that journey's going. And so maybe just speak on that, man. You don't have to feel like a time limit. Like, what does this rucking journey look like for you and why?
Yeah, I think for me, I needed some type of lifestyle change a little bit. It's so easy when you move and you take a new promotion and you start making more income. It's easier to be lazier in other avenues. One of those for me was the gym. I was a going to the gym every day kind of guy. And seasons change. Even as a single guy trying to build something, that seasons change, and you want to make sure you're building and spending time that makes the most sense. And I mean, for me, fitness is still important. I just definitely put that on the back burner when it came to my actual intentions. So I was always, doing this, editing this, going to my job from 8 to 5, so Monday through Friday, it's just the calendar could get so bogged down, but what you will make time for what you want to make time for, right? And personally, some type of challenge, involving something that I love to do, which is, video record, as you can see this crazy studio at my house, but also and do something consistent, right? But I didn't want to make it about the post, right? I think, speaking for myself as a millennial, it's so easy to just post something because you want, the quick attention. Yeah. Right, it's easy to do that with the quick attention and posting something on social media for the likes and seeing those hearts come at you, and you're like, man, the dopamine hit. That's incredible. So, but for me, it was, doing that ideally for myself, right, and doing it to be better in every single way that I can. So,
No,
that's kind of the start of it.
The dopamine hits are so true.
Oh, yeah.
And as a father, I'm in that same place. Just as a father, I've had this transition, and so the gym has been a place that I've kind of lackluster as I put more energy into another area that I wanted to be successful right there. So I think that's super relatable, man. And I thought it'd be great to start off with you in this early on in this season of doing an interview with you, because we can also do a recap in a few months to see where your journey's in. So what does sustained success vlogging, this rucking transformation experience, and hopefully you're okay with we call it a transformation, because I don't see it as you just losing weight. I see it as like transforming back into who you want, the pinnacle of what you want to be.
Right, exactly.
But maybe explain what rucking is, and then what that sustained success looks like for you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's carrying a heavy backpack That's it. Like, that's the best way to put it. Straightforward. But in reality, it's a discipline of what, and it's a homage of what the military did. They had to train this way every day. And what I do is it's not like super hard, right? It's more so just a discipline, right? I think I did a couple of ruck events. In ruck events were like these like challenges, right? Where you did like 5 miles in 7 hours, or 15 miles in 12 hours. And you just carried heavy weight the whole time. There was nothing else. There was no other agenda other than carrying heavy weight, doing it together as a group of people and bonding that way. And, sometimes we did learn about history. A lot of times it was, revolved around history of something. Like we did one that was about 12 hours long, and it's called a tough, and it was 17 miles through the night. So 12 hours, we take our heavy 30 pounds minimum. That's just the weight plate, and then don't include the food, the water that you pack in there, and then you take turns, basically carrying another sandbag on top of that. So when you explain it like that, it sounds kind of like, why would you put yourself through that, right?
Yeah.
But I think coming out of that, it was a good buddy of mine, Ryan Florian. He likes to call it shared pain, right? So, why is the military? Why is a lot of groups like that who are just so close, and why are they so committed to one another? It's because they went through pain together, and a ruck is a minimal compared to like actual military forces, right? But
pretty close physically.
The training, the physicality, and like the toughness of it. It was a experience, right? And I did about 3 that year. It was 21, right after COVID. So again, I needed to make a change, and I decided to sign up for events. Well, fast forward, right? We're 24. Why I decided to do it this way is, we just kind of explain all the different things I'm a part of, right? And I'm busy a lot. And let me rephrase it, productive, right? I've heard that from a couple of mentors of mine of being productive, right? It's not like I'm just spending time, although I do occasionally do the doom scrolling. I'm guilty of it. I'm not perfect, you know what I mean? But I just feel like I made excuses for my calendar, right? Because I go from my job during the day, which is a very travel, I wouldn't say travel, yeah, it's pretty travel heavy job.
It definitely is.
And traveling all around Columbus, Ohio. And then I will go from there to just a team of entrepreneurs that I'm plugged in with, or doing something with my photography, right? So you talk about that, and you're just like looking at my calendar, you're like, this dude doesn't have time for anything. Like, what is he doing? It's like, but I was always like in sports. I did multiple sports. I was a multiple sport athlete, and I found that like every time I was in multiple sports, I was succeeding at a high level, and I just enjoyed that. Like, I enjoyed the it's hard to, the word, what does it mean? But like the minutia, the continuous, like nonstop.
Yeah.
Because I have my times that I relax. I have my times that I can, wind down a little bit. We know that I need to do that here soon. I'm definitely have a big jug hidden here, hiding there, of water, just fully water, just straight hydrating like no other. So
if it's April 6th now, so just June 30th, and you look back in the past 2 months, what would a successful 2 months look like to you?
Nonstop consistency. I think that's it. I think eventually upping the difficulty. Right now I'm doing a mile a day. Mm-hmm. I have time for a mile a day. It's a walk. It's a 20-minute walk, right? That's very simple with a heavy 30 pounds on your back. Nothing too straining. You could commit to that, right? So, but I love to commit to actually, and one of the things you do is, we call it shuffling in rucking, where you're essentially running with your ruck on your back, but you are, you're moving way faster. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, you're basically like a mid speed jog. Okay. And your 20-minute mile turns into like a 12-minute mile to a 10-minute mile to however the goal is. So eventually my goal is to reach that. But right now, just kind of the way my mentality works and the way that my schedule works, it's just staying consistent a mile a day. And I think when I make it consistent like that, it was easy to commit.
Yeah.
It's easy to commit. Like today, I feel like absolute crap. Like, obviously I was excited to do this podcast with you.
Yeah.
When you asked, I was completely honored that you reached out to me and thought of me first. And maybe not first, maybe there's other people, but it's okay. I appreciate it.
No, when I created it, it was, I'm talking about you with something with a purpose.
Yeah.
And everyone else is a topic.
Yeah.
And sometimes people can confuse the two.
Yeah.
You know
Okay.
what I
I like
mean?
that.
And
Yeah.
so, I don't know. I like the purpose of what you're doing and why you're doing it. I'm going through a similar thing myself here, with trying to get in shape, and so I relate a lot to it. Because I have 2 days. I can run, work out, play pickleball, and I got to do it in a time frame. Get back, cook dinner, get kids to sleep, get baths done. So I understand schedules can be absolutely crazy, but I look back and wait, what do I want to be? What does success look like? It's all right. What do I have to do daily? You know what I mean?
I read a book, and I think you read the same book called Atomic Habits, and that book, I remembered I read it back in 2020 when we were doing. One of the things we were doing, I think, as a group of men, I think you were part of the group chats, was cold showers, right? In the morning, right? It was brutal. But the reason we did it was for the pure discipline.
Yeah.
So before I started rucking, I actually was doing 30-second cold showers in the morning just to start. Like that started my day every day. So I probably started doing that before I left for vacation. I started probably beginning of March doing 30 seconds. And I upped it since, 45 seconds, baller here. But like, no, I think that discipline kind of stirred up in me to be like, you know what, what else can I do that's going to kind of make my health and life better? And the reason I do cold showers, not everyone needs to do a cold shower. That's not the secret. For me personally, I'm not a young kid anymore. You know what I mean? Like, so doing stuff physical, I'm sore. Like, oh, man, I can't go back next day and do it. Like, the cold shower feels so good after waking up, even though my bed is incredible. But after waking up and just like, that soreness is gone. I feel incredible. I'm jolted. Like, I'm ready to start my day.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was a commitment to make discipline in my life. And Atomic Habits really spoke about that, where it's just like, and if you haven't read it, highly recommend reading it. It's talking about getting 1% better, right? There's a lot of people hear that. It sounds super cheesy, right?
Yeah.
It's like, 1% better. What does that mean? That means get freaking better every day. Like, you know what I mean? That's it. That was how I read it. It was like, okay, I could get better every day. What can I do that I want to focus on to get better? And for me, it was fitness and my alertness and, my taking care of my body, because I think
those are all sound.
Yeah.
And, no, man, you make some valid points. Just you can see it. So at the end of April, it'll be about 45 days out, but you'll start vlogging about 30 to 40 or
yeah.
Okay.
That's kind of the plan right now. We're kind of playing it by ear.
Yeah.
I've already started to organize it a little bit in the computer, and
that's good. That's smart. You can schedule it out.
Exactly. So my plan is to schedule it out ahead of time. So like 30 days out, I already have the footage for that. Let's start cutting that up maybe 2 weeks out. So, and that's the thing. I wanted to combine something I didn't want to do and along with something I love, which is, creating documentaries. Not vlogging per se. I'm not like hey, look at me. I need to.
No, but I think, and that for some people that goes back to you're capturing the experience.
Yeah.
What if someone were to watch it and come across it randomly on YouTube because they followed the one be at YouTube? What would be the central message you hope that came across? And they just kind of, because sometimes when you find those types of videos, you go down a rabbit hill to see where people started and where they went. What would be the central message that you would want to come across?
I think just as a person my camera went down again. As a person who wants to continually just get better every single time. It was just more so, motivating someone. And, as a social media person, one of the biggest trends I've seen in terms of videos is been the consistency of a video.
Yeah.
Like that's, constantly posted, right? So whether it be on YouTube Shorts, I mean, we're in a day and age where we need to, get the attention, of people, right? Especially if we're going on social media. And like I said, it wasn't truly about so much social media. Personally, it's about, directing people and motivating. And if people are interested in checking out my, business, from that, if I get a percentage out of people who are interested in that, who are in the Columbus area, great. I will say, like, if I just get like, and this is a way of for me to kind of create that presence online, because as much as I'm not a fan of social media, I know how important that is to grow a brand.
Absolutely.
And right now in today's day and age, we need to continue to try to grow our brand, and that was kind of my idea of creating kind of a consistent documentary of like almost like a journal, like a self journal, but not vlogging. Like I do a couple of talking. I'll probably do like I haven't decided yet, but my goal is maybe to do like a talking head over it.
That'd be sweet.
Or not talking head.
This part of the Ruck sucked.
Right, yeah, just like my head pops up, right? It's like, what is this crazy guy doing all the time? No,
that's good.
Yeah, so it's just like kind of
get to experiment and play around with it.
Experiment, play around, create documentaries, because I'm not like, I like movies, but like it doesn't, certain ones draw my attention if it has a topic that I want to watch. Same thing with TV shows. I'm just really kind of a comedy guy. Really, everything. I'm a comedy guy. And that's probably why I am attracted to social media. At least my For You page is...
just laughing.
Just constant comedy. But I think when it comes to that, too, I think I just needed something to be consistent on that I could hold myself accountable to by posting, right?
I think that's good. I think... it's funny how social media is not a real space, but it's a place you can create your space. You know what I mean? And so, and you can create your brand. And I think you'll definitely get a chance to do that, and people will draw people in, especially with your quality of work. So
I appreciate that.
I definitely want to pivot just a bit. So I would just like to pivot real quick, just because I know we got a chance to speak on your Ruck experience, and I feel like that'll be a great piece to come back to after you have uploaded, you've seen some success, you've played around with the shorts. You'll notice that something does well on one platform and just tanks on another, and it's nothing. And you edit it the same way. But you have really mastered and came a long way in your photography, videography. You've invested into it. And, I mean, we're looking at thousands of dollars, a couple $1,000s here. So I guess just like recap your success last year, because that was really your first year doing weddings, doing photo shoots. I mean, I did a photo shoot with my wife and daughter with you. Recap that last year's success and kind of what you learned.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that I learned the last year, in the first year of being in business, was know your value. I think the biggest thing I learned was knowing my value of what I'm offering, because I watched this on social media, of course, and it was someone who talked about, like, a lot of times when you quote a price and they immediately say yes, it's like, oh, shoot, I probably could have quoted higher, huh? And it was just like, it was a learning experience, but at the same time, like, it's that balance of, I'm building my portfolio, right? Yeah. I'm building what I want people to see when they click on Lawn Talk Photography, right? When it came to DJing, I mean, it was a lot of times just word of mouth. Every event that I did last year was literally from someone saying, hey, Travis is a DJ. He would be happy to, DJ your wedding, most likely. Just if we talk it out. So that was, it was such a powerful, like, the amount of success I had just from doing that without
really branding, marketing.
Without branding and marketing, without truly getting out there, is been a blessing, right? So, I mean, it earns me back a couple thousand, really just paying off every piece of gear that I love. As you can tell, I love my gear, including, this is a rucksack, so I didn't mention that earlier, with the Go Ruck. So, usually you put like a heavy pounds, 30 pounds in there. But yeah, it was a great learning experience of understanding what my brand is, what am I trying to grow, and where do I want to take this, right? If I truly want to make this full time, going to weddings every weekend isn't the most ideal, right? My weekends are gone, right?
Yeah.
Granted, I make a lot of money, but now my weekends are gone, right? So my weekends are completely gone. So, and as a sanguine, I don't know if personality types. Mine is
you're
like
a little extroverted.
a little extroverted, right? So having people around, because it's like some people are like, that's a dream. You know what I mean? Like work on weekend, do stuff during the week, and you don't have to worry about people. I'm like, I as much as I'm like, that angry old man sometimes, where some people get me a little frustrated.
Yeah.
I love people. You know what I mean? I love being around people. That's why I decided to start an entertainment and media company where I deal with people.
How many weekends were you booked last year? Do you know?
I think with photography and DJ together, like overall, I would say about 20.
That's half a
Like
year.
15 to 20 weekends.
That's a good chunk.
Right. It's a
Because
decent amount.
My next question was, as you reflected on that and forecasted that, looked at that past year, what is your forecast for this year? Are you looking to grow? Like, is that,
Yes.
or is that overwhelming?
No, I actually have kind of an idea to kind of grow and almost automate my business. One of the things that I do is I combine services, right? I combine photography and DJ services, and I find people who want to DJ, right? People who want to DJ events. They want to kind of get their foot in the door or want to try it out and see if they like it. I'll train them. They use my equipment. Right now, I'm training my cousin. He's willing to do a couple events with me this year where I'm doing both. I'm the photographer. I'm the DJ. Okay. But I'm the face. I'm the mic man. You know what I mean? But I have someone who's going to back me up there, like kind of whenever I need to go take a photo shoot, right? So my goal was to find a way to almost
duplicate yourself in a
duplicate myself where I'm a strong Christian. So one of the things that a book that's out there, as you tell, I read books. It's called Multiply by Francis Chan.
I haven't heard that yet.
A really good book. He talks about being disciples, right, as Christian disciples and going out and speaking on the word, and multiply, and and I mean it's in the Bible, right? Be fruitful and multiply. Well, they talk about that with your kids, but I mean that can also apply to your mentorship to people, right? You are yourself spreading the word of Jesus to a lot of people, and same way, like I mean, Christianity, as much as people sometimes when they hear that word they're triggered, it is still one of the strongest and most, I'll say, the most hated religion for a reason, right? Because they've multiplied, they've expanded so much, and we've expanded so much as a whole church, right? Now, that was a different example, but I mean that's essentially the multiplication.
I mean, if you're looking at forecasting and it's intertwined with your spiritual presence, I mean, I think that is an absolutely great answer.
Yeah.
So there's no right or wrong answers to what how you feel internally.
Right. Absolutely.
So here's a jump then. You're doing great professionally. Single, fit guy. If you are a beautiful young Christian lady who's also extroverted.
Not too extroverted. Not too
or maybe
extroverted.
just ready to balance someone out.
Right.
What would it look like for you to be a full-time entrepreneur doing something you love?
I think the number one thing is getting out of debt, right? There's still some lingering school debt that I have out there. It's funny. I went to get a 4-year degree. Took me 4.5 years to realize I didn't want to get that degree. But I still got all the debt to it, and the experience itself I'm grateful for, but I think school wasn't for me, I think for me is number one step is getting out of debt, right?
Okay.
Not worrying about, overarching owing someone else money. The only debt I've heard that you should accrue is essentially your mortgage, as long as you can afford that, right? There's nothing wrong with having a mortgage necessarily. Now, don't get me wrong, I'd love to be in that next level and pay that off.
Absolutely.
Especially working in banking, you know how it is. So
absolutely.
But yeah, I think success just is that, and honestly trading my money for true time. Like I don't have to be making, like $500,000, $500,000 before I'm like, you know what, let's step away. I want to be comfortable. I want to be able to live my lifestyle and know it's sustainable, and know that, and that's I kind of have a a blessing in a way where I don't have to worry, like, because there's some photographers or some DJs who that is their full time, and they started they're starting to maybe run into some challenges, run into some issues doing that full time because statistically people are getting married less.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Right? So
Divorce is also down, so I guess that's a good
that opens it up. People who do want to get married, right? No, yeah, I think understanding that and knowing like, okay, what does this market look like in the next couple of years, right?
Yeah.
When people are getting older, like the Gen Z that's getting married, and what does that look like? Who's my audience? Building a community, essentially, kind of like what you're doing right now, right? You're building a community of people that, are there with you because of who you are as a person and what you speak on and how hilarious you are, of course. But like,
I appreciate that.
But like that community is so vital when it comes to going on your own and entrepreneurship, right? Because like a lot of times people think, and you could do it that way, where you could just invest in something and you make $1 million off this investment. Now you can live for the rest of your life off of that $1 million. Well, it's like, well, first off, you didn't learn how to control your finances before doing that. How long are you really going to live off that $1 million? Right. But I think when it comes to growing that self, like those are one in a million. I mean, I'm not saying that there's no chance that people could still get rich off of that, but that's almost like again, a Christian thought process. I always saw like the fruit of my bearings is based off of the work that I'm putting in, right? And not in the sense of like being saved as a Christian, but necessarily being blessed in a way, right? So it's like, how much am I putting the work in to get what I desire, right? So I think that's ultimately what it is, and how long and what is my tipping point, right? To the where it's like, okay, this maybe isn't worth it anymore, right? Yeah. So understanding that balance, understanding how to properly balance my lifestyle and what I want to do. That's kind of how I see myself getting full entrepreneurship. So
there's so many dynamics to it. I agree. I'm watching comics who are full time. See their faces a little thin. You see what they're going through.
Eating ramen every day.
They're chasing their dream.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, they don't have a family to feed.
Right.
They don't have a wife. They don't have these things. Maybe they're, and I'm like, okay, am I in a position to still, tithe and do X, Y, and Z?
Yeah.
Then I'm okay. And I get where you're coming from, man. Just multiplying and making a quality decision.
Understanding understanding your value, right? Going back to that. What is that value to you that's going to make it ideal for you to get full entrepreneurship, right? So it's just, because in reality, some people love a job, and that's okay if they love a job. Like, that's your prerogative. But, like, for me, I always knew, like, it wasn't necessarily... I'm blessed that I have a job right now that they give me pretty good autonomy where I'm just running my own book, right? Where I'm in sales, but I run my own book and I control what I can control, right? So I think that's what makes it at least attractive while I try to get out of debt, while I grow a business.
It's a great... I look at the job as an asset, right? Right now, it feeds and clothes and houses my family.
Yeah, exactly.
But it allows you to grow something you love.
Yeah.
Versus I've had jobs where I can barely get by. I can't even think about what I love.
Right, exactly. Exactly.
So, just blessed in the way that we can pursue that.
Mm-hmm.
Those are all my questions. Like I said, I wanted to keep it to 30 minutes. We're right at 35, including a couple pauses there.
Okay.
But I just want to say, one, thank you for taking the time, open up your home. I know you don't feel well. You got it looking like such a production in here,
right?
And I really want to step my game up as I do things, and so it's kind of giving me a little bit of a vision of what I want.
Yeah.
I got a chance to go to it's called #comedy last night.
Yeah.
And this girl, she took a loan out, started her own comedy. And I was like, wow, I respect her chasing her dreams.
Absolutely.
And she's booking it up. I'm like, all right, like at a certain point. We get filled with potential. We just got to take action on it.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see sit back down, maybe at my house or at a coffee shop or outside, just talking about that transformation that you've hit, Rucking, and then just seeing where your media is going, man. I'm excited to see your experience with social media and posting as well. I think it'll be good.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I'm nerve-wracking because I'm not a big share every single thing detail guy, but I feel like this kind of, like I said, it includes like passions of mine and comes with a documentary potentially at the end. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely, man.
Cool.
Well, this is Dewan. I'm signing off. Another episode of Unhinged with a great guest, Travis. You will be seeing him again. And if you're getting married, holla at your boy, Midwest, Columbus, Ohio. We'll talk to you soon.